Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Estate IQ. I'm Brian Capone. Let's talk about the word contingent. It's late at night, you can't go to sleep, or maybe you can, but you can't control yourself, kind of like me. You're on Zillow. I'm personally not on Zillow, but you're looking at these real estate search engines online, and you see the word contingent. It's a property you've been stalking, you love it, and you see contingent. What does that mean? Well, you're probably going to be disappointed, but contingent typically means that the seller has accepted an offer from a buyer on the property. So buyer saw it, they liked it, they submitted an offer, maybe they negotiated, but they signed and executed a contract. It's basically that buyer's property to lose at this point, which could be disappointing, right? But the question is, like, what exactly does contingent mean? Well, contingent means kind of what it sounds like. The sale is contingent on a few things happening. It's not so much the offer price anymore or the initial terms that everybody agreed to. It's some of the other items in the agreement, some of the contingencies in the agreement. Typically in our world, they're waiting on two things. They're waiting on an inspection and they're waiting on their financing contingency. So, an inspection, the buyer submits an offer on the place, everybody agrees to it, they go in there with their inspector within a certain period of time. They usually, again, this is all, I'm speaking broadly nationally right now, but in our marketplace, one of three things happens when you have an inspection. You either walk away completely because you're like, this place is a disaster, you accept the property as is because the place is basically perfect and nothing needs to be done, or you negotiate some other repair, credit, inspection, right? Hey, the roof's in bad shape. Either fix the roof prior to settlement, give me some money, I'll do it myself after settlement, whatever it is. I think the key thing to remember, and I don't even know where I learned this statistic, it may just be kind of in my own world. Typically, your 80% of sales go through. So once you see that contingent, there's a good chance you should probably take it off your love list because it's probably not coming back on the market. Okay, that's just a generic percentage. Financing is another contingency, right? So the buyer has to get a mortgage, and there's a process by which they have to go through. They have to be underwritten. The bank has to do an appraisal. There's a handful of things that need to happen before the bank literally says, we're ready to lend on this property. That usually happens a little later in the process, closer to settlement, whereas on the inspection side, that happens a little bit earlier. Okay, so those are kind of, that's the word contingent when you're searching online. There's also the word contingent as it relates to primarily a buyer buying a house, but they have to sell their house first. So you would submit your offer to purchase a property contingent on the sale of your property. So basically, if you have a property that needs to sell, you may need two things. You may need the money from the sale of your property to buy the next property, okay, whatever your equity is, or to buy the other property and you're getting financing to buy it. That bank may say, you don't make enough money to support two mortgage payments right now. Your old house or the new house you're buying, you one or the other. And there's ways around to navigate this. And in a strong seller's market, this isn't your way to go because the seller's going to accept your offer contingent on the sale of the property you own. And in a seller's market, there may be three other offers over here to buy their property, and they don't want to wait for you to sell your house. So you're probably just going to get kicked to the curb. That's been kind of the case a lot in the last 5 years. But if they do accept it, you now have to sell your house first, get it to the table, go through all those other things, right? That buyer's inspection, that buyer's financing, in order to get the money to buy your house. So it's typically not an ideal situation. But we may be headed in that direction as the market changes. Maybe you have to pay a premium over here to get them to accept your offer contingent. Or maybe they just know that your house is going to sell very quickly. We've done contingent sales and they've worked out. There's just a lot of different nuances. So that's how the word contingent comes into play in a buy sell situation versus when you see contingent when you're searching on Zillow and you're like, well, what exactly does that mean? How do I wrap it up?
So I would say, like, contingent isn't a red flag when you're like searching.
Right. Okay. So contingent is not a bad thing when you're searching. It just unfortunately may mean that the house is no longer available. It's synonymous with pending as well. And I don't know if the different portals, one portal uses contingent, one uses pending. In our world, it's a little more nuanced. A property goes under contract, and it goes under contract, and then it becomes pending after a certain period of time, typically after they go through the inspection process. That may not be the case in other jurisdictions. So if you see contingent, if you see pending on the online portals, just know that unfortunately it's kind of the same thing, and the property is no longer available. If you need help navigating some of these terms, you're just interested in real estate in general, subscribe, like, I'd appreciate it. This is Brian Capone, and this is Real Estate IQ. Thank you.